Welcome to another episode of Savage Time TV. I'm your host, AB Brisley, and today we have our special guest, Tia Dash. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling good. Just starting off, we know that you're an entrepreneur, fashion designer, you model, you do a lot of things. But before we get into that, could you just tell the people where you're from?
So I'm originally from Dover, Delaware. I currently stay in Magnolia, Delaware. I attend Salisbury University, so I'm in Salisbury a lot of the time.
Okay.
In Maryland.
Okay. Could you tell us about how it was, just growing up down in Dover, in that area? Some people, like we were talking before, consider it lower Delaware, but could you just give us insight into just how it was growing up there?
The part of Delaware I'm from, which is Dover, I wouldn't really consider it lower, but
Okay.
definitely nothing compared to the city where my parents are both from New York, so definitely different from visiting there. But I enjoyed my childhood. I had a lot of really close friends, being that Delaware is so small, and those are the people you see on a weekly basis. So, yeah.
So it definitely gave you like a homey feel.
Yeah,
community.
definitely. Very
Okay.
community-like.
I can definitely relate to that coming up in Delaware. It's like you kind of don't know it unless you live here, but it's
Yeah.
very close knit.
Yep, like as
And
soon as you leave outside of Delaware, then you're like, oh, well, like Delaware's like a family compared to going to,
everything's here in a way, kind
yeah.
of. Like I said before, you're an entrepreneur, fashion designer. What made you want to work for yourself?
I personally cannot see myself working a 9 to 5 later in life. So,
Okay.
and being that I'm such a creative, like I sew, I do YouTube, I paint. So there's so many like hidden or secret talents that I have. I at least wanted to take something serious and take it to the next level. So with fashion, I had been sewing since I was 8, literally just sewing with a needle and thread until I learned how to use a sewing machine in high school. So it really influenced me wanting to make it into something that I could profit from.
Okay, so you have a lot of talent. So I can see that. No need to really work for somebody else when you have a whole bunch of talent yourself.
Exactly.
For real. Was fashion always your goal or like main focus?
It changed throughout life, but coincidentally came back to fashion. Like I was always a child watching Project Runway and just buying all the little Project Runway kits that they would sell and designing, even at summer camp and things like that. You find me, even though everyone else is outside, you find me sketching clothing and things like that. Wanted to be a fashion designer. Even in high school for a while, thought about attending FIT, but like I realized I have the skill, the fashion design skill, and know how to sew, know how to sketch clothes. What am I going to FIT for that I don't, like, skill-wise that I don't, I mean, obviously I could improve my skills, but what am I going there for that's going to change what I'm doing right now? So I went to a school with a really nice business department, Salisbury, which is the Purdue School of Business. And I went there for a marketing degree because that's what I felt like I needed more work
For sure. And that's definitely, like we were talking about offline, like marketing, I feel, is a definite thing that's lacking in a lot of businesses that people don't understand. It's like an area where people, like, they know it's important, but they don't really know the impact that it really has.
Exactly.
Especially in with black businesses, I think it's something that is just completely missing, is that marketing skill. So
Exactly.
it's great that you got into it.
Being that there's social media now, you think that's the only aspect of marketing, just posting your product and everybody see it, and there's so much more to marketing.
Okay, yeah, for sure. That's like I said, I'm learning more right now because you just said social media. I'm like, well, that seems to be like the main thing. Like, oh, if you just post all your stuff on social media, like as long as your stuff's popping on social media, it should be cool.
Yep.
But you're talking about there's definitely more ways to get your stuff out there. So that's great that you know that. Would you say that you've always been basically a creative or like working with art or in some form of fashion all the time?
I model on the side. Even then, like I'll sit and plan out a shoot with the photographer. Like I always want to have a part in the art aspect of a shoot. So there was honestly never a time that I wasn't at least drawing, painting, sketching, sewing, something. I'm always making something.
Okay.
Like I can't sit still. That's my problem.
Okay. All right. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur, especially being a black woman?
Watching your product or your business grow, like seeing it start from just an idea and like a goal and becoming an actual business and having people support you along the way, just seeing your consumers grow. So just definitely watching the idea sprout.
So the feedback and seeing the
hearing
influence.
especially feedback, because it's hard to get constructive and it's definitely hard to get constructive feedback, especially
Yeah.
as a Black entrepreneur. You know, there's people that don't want to hurt your feelings, especially when they're another color from you. They just feel like that maybe it's a touchy subject or
And there's
touchy
some
to
people that want to
criticize
hurt your feelings
No,
sometimes.
and exactly, and there's people that want to hurt your feelings along the way. You just gotta keep your head on straight and know your business and know your product.
Yeah, I was, I was scoping on your gram, and I was like, you had made a post, and it looked like you were talking about, not that you were explaining yourself, but it was like you were like telling people like it's okay that I smile when people smile at me, like it's okay,
yeah.
like I give like almost like people were looking at you a certain way because you were being nice, I guess, because most people like we said, especially in Delaware, people are standoffish.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes with that, some energy and actually smiles and stuff like that, some people take it the wrong way, and that's when you can get that hard to get constructive
Yeah,
criticism.
and I guess I could consider myself like a semi-friendly person. I'm not always the person to start the conversation, but I'll always engage in a conversation with someone that wants to talk. So,
Oh, that's good.
but I like it because it helps with my networking skills. I definitely have built a strong network over my college years.
That's good. That's good. And being in the fashion industry and just like you said, you even paint and do all this other great art and creative things. Your influences, was there certain things that influenced you, people that influenced you?
A role model of mine has always been Rihanna, like especially with her being a creative, like lingerie, regular clothing, sunglasses, perfume, makeup. Like she's all over the place, and that's how my mind is. So, music, like there's so many different types of industries that she's entered and has taken over. She's definitely been a main influence for me.
Yeah, and just speaking to Rihanna, just like I think even myself, not that I didn't take it seriously, but it kind of like when she kind of started with the fashion lingerie thing, it kind of was like, oh well, everybody's kind of doing that. Like, oh, you become an artist, you become, make a couple number ones, and it's like, all right, well, let me make some clothes because people will buy it. But she's turned it into
so smart as far as her marketing skills.
Right.
Like she's used social media marketing, and even though it's a free platform, she's turned it into a way for influencers to make money and using them in order to broadcast her
Yeah, she just
products.
got Meg Thee Stallion, I saw.
Yeah.
Like that's major.
She's so smart when it comes to marketing.
And you also have the YouTube channel that we were talking about. Could you tell me about that? What's that all about?
So I just started my YouTube channel the beginning of this year. It was actually my New Year's resolution. So trying to stay committed and consistent with that is also part of my resolution. I saw another opportunity to make money, and that's like always on my mind. So I started that with hopes to be able to get monetized, but also just as another way to express myself and show like how my business grows along the way, how just my life is on a regular day. So I'll vlog here and there. So subscribe.
Yes, definitely subscribe. Definitely subscribe. And we were talking about monetizing, and just it's like you said, it's another opportunity to make money.
Exactly.
And I think that sometimes people get not wrapped up in the idea of they look at people wrong when they're always talking about the bag, like we were just talking about, like it's an opportunity to make money, and if you're always thinking about money, why not? So I think that that's great that you didn't get satisfied with what you're already doing because you're already.
I'm never satisfied.
Yeah, I can tell. I can definitely tell. Why other than the money, and the YouTube, is there other things with media that you want to get into other than just a YouTube channel?
Not that I've thought about, but there's always an idea crossing my mind. Like mentally, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Like I always have another idea, or I'm sitting and I could be in a lecture and there'll be an idea that just popped into my head, and I'll write it down. But nothing in media production.
Okay, and it sounds like you're good as long as you want to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
love being in
like
front of the camera.
you haven't brought it up, but are you interested in like acting, things like that, like being in front of the camera, saying some lines? Is that something that you look into?
I wouldn't turn it down if the opportunity presented itself, but as far as right now, it's not something I would, like a dream I would chase. No.
Okay. And what has been the biggest hurdle you've had to overcome on your journey? Just being an entrepreneur, period.
I would say being a little too humble about my business and about myself. Like, I've had people tell me like, or ask me why don't you mention your business, or ask me why don't I bring it up? And it's not. I don't know. I don't want to ever seem like the person that just wants to brag. Like, yeah, I have a business. Like, yeah, I make such and such.
That's a misconception. I think it's like you don't want to come off as braggadocious or anything
Yeah,
like that, but it's something that
exactly.
people need to hear because
And it is.
people don't hear it.
I attended this women's summit for money and leadership in Salisbury, and I was speaking to this woman along with another student, and she brought it up in the middle of the conversation. And she's like, "You have your business cards on you, and why didn't you even offer her one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Like it's something that I took a mental note of, and I'm like, I definitely need to start like putting my business. If I want people to know about it, then I need to start putting it out there myself.
You gotta be your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, exactly.
As my boy Kanye West would say, yeah, you have to be your own biggest
For real.
cheerleader.
Who else will?
For real. Clutch. So as we can see, you got the sweatsuit on. Could you tell us where the idea for that came about and just like the whole process with that?
So the idea started, like I said, I started sewing at the age of 8. So my mom would either give me excess fabric that she had when she was doing a project, or I go to the store and just see like a pattern and be like, "Can we buy that?" So I'd either make like a skirt or a shirt or something out of it from watching YouTube, and I'd have extra fabric left over. So I just started. The only other thing that I could really make with it was a purse, because there'd be like 2 rectangle sheets or something like that. So
Right.
I started just sewing them, and it's something that it's quick, and I started to get a lot of questions about it, like, "Oh, where'd you get that from?" Or like the pattern. Especially when I go into a fabric store, I don't pick like the basic pattern. Like if I see something that's like animal print and really bright, like I know it will catch someone
Different.
else's eye because it caught my eye exactly, then that's what I pick. So I started getting a lot of questions about it, especially with the way that I like color coordinate my outfits, or I'd have like maybe a hint of pink in my makeup, so I don't have a pink bag. Like it gets people to ask you and to look at you. So started getting questions about it. Told them that I was actually making it, and then they asked, "Oh, like where can I get one from?" And I'm like, "Okay, well now that I see a market for it, like I could really do that on the side." Wasn't taking it serious until like the crowd of people that started asking started to grow. So I started making them, started up a website, and realized it really started to take off, and I really started to see an interest in it. Started to get like people that just wanted to support just because, and like I didn't want them to just have to donate. Like I wanted to be able to give them a product or something in mind to wear. So that's when I started doing the apparel end of it, because there were guys that wanted to support, and I didn't like.
Yeah, I
Most
I
guys
saw
don't
that. I was
wanna
like, well,
clutch
I can't
first.
even support if I want
Yeah.
to. It's just purses.
So I started looking at the apparel side of it. I started off with sweatshirts, rebranded and switched up my logo, which is the logo you see here, and
Which
started
is
off with sweatshirts. Thank you. And I just posted it for the first time today, and I got like my DMs are flooded right now. I didn't even open them, but just to see that people are interested in it.
Yeah, it's good. Like again, that feedback.
Exactly.
And with your line, do you plan to appeal more to the masses, like how we were talking about before, or do you want your line to be more like a high boutique, like a Louis Vuitton, something that where it's a centralized, or it's like a really a market that's singled out, kind of?
Definitely a market that's singled out. As far as my prices, like clutch purses, they're all under $25 as of right now. So it's definitely appealing more to like my college student budget, like a budget of someone that can't really afford to go and get a Louis Vuitton, but still want to look nice and still wants to be able to put an outfit together without having to, have that
Break the
LV
bank.
on them. Yeah, exactly. Or break a leg or sell an arm. So definitely the smaller group, but
Okay.
I have like a release schedule, so I'll have a product and I'll buy so much of that product just so that like you still get the rarity feel of it, like of a luxury item, but less people have it.
Okay, that's good. So you're definitely you're gonna keep it to the singular market, but you're gonna take the prices and make it so that more people can actually buy it.
Yep.
That's a good way to mix that. What has been the most surprising part of your time in fashion so far?
The amount of support, definitely. And I recently entered my business into a business competition at Salisbury University, and I came out with $1,500, which
That's good. Congrats.
yeah, thank you. I didn't get the money yet, but when I do, like I already have plans for it. So it's definitely something that's gonna help my business grow tremendously. So just to have like my school on my back, they promote me in the newsletters and things like that, to have friends on my back helping out, and to have like people that just come across my page like you and reaching out. Like it means a lot.
Yeah, because I came out and it's like you said, it definitely did what you wanted it to. It grabs attention because I'm like, she does this, does that. I'm like, yeah, I got to get her in front of the camera and have some conversation. Moving on, Style by Dash. I saw that in the bio. It said, fashion is what you buy, style is what you do with it. Could you explain like what that whole saying means?
So, I feel like I can mostly relate this to like rappers. You see them buy all this designer and throw it on. It don't like sometimes it don't even look like an actual outfit. It's just like
Just do it together.
yeah, and it's expensive, so everybody's better support it. I'd like that's not fashion to me. Fashion is how you style it. Like I could buy this designer, but I'm not like I got on Gucci flip flops right now, but I'm not about to put on a whole Gucci outfit like with it. I got on my supporting my brand at the same time, but like it's still a look. That's style to me. That's
Okay.
fashion.
Okay. So it's more about what you do with it, not about
Yeah.
what you have.
How
or
you
what
express your own personality through your outfits, like and still look good while doing it.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. I just thought that was just. It was really. It was catchy. It was like I was like, okay, that's nice. Like it makes you think. Like she definitely has a different perspective on fashion.
Yep. I haven't been active on the page lately just because I haven't had reasons to go out, but yeah.
Stay tuned. Just
Yeah,
I'm pretty
stay
sure you're gonna
tuned.
flood it soon when you go down to Miami.
Yes, most
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
On my trips.
Who influences your personal style, if anyone,
Can't say
or is
anyone
it's all
does.
you?
Yeah,
It's all you?
it's me. Like I'll see like bits and pieces of an outfit. Like I'll see some shoes I like from scrolling on my TL, or I'll see like a shirt I like, but I will never put an outfit together the same way someone else did. So
Okay.
myself.
So let's deepen more into fashion. The fashion week, that's a big thing in fashion. Everybody goes to the parties, everybody dresses up. Which are you into the fashion weeks for one, and which location is your favorite?
I have definitely always wanted to go to New York Fashion Week. I just have never, I don't know, I've never had a friend that's as deeply into fashion as I am. But
You need
I
a
feel like,
Virgil
yeah, I
to
need
be
a
your
partner.
Kanye.
Yeah,
to go
so
out there,
to drag out there with me. So definitely New York Fashion Week though. I'll watch all of the stories and I'll follow them, follow the pages, all the different designers during that week just to see the runway looks. I think I have a ball out there, really.
Yeah, it's turning into, I think, and another shout out to my boy Kanye West, because I'm telling y'all he's the GOAT. He put everybody on to the fashion. He was a part of the way that got Fashion Week has turned into an event now for people that's not even in fashion. They'll just
Exactly.
go out to be seen. It's just turned into this big event where all the people that are popular are mostly
Exactly.
at.
And there's a lot of people that go out there just to like serve their own looks. I want to go out there and actually sit and watch.
And watch and learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Describe your first moment of gratification. I know we've talked about it before, but tell me about that first moment when you were like, oh, my thoughts and ideas are really like paying off.
Just, I guess, having consistent customers, like even if there were just one or two, I just knew there was someone that really liked what I was doing and really liked the work that I was putting out. So just catching on and finding those consistent paying customers that will come back no matter what. Like, I guess having people that really connected onto your brand and so just finding those one or two support systems to keep you going.
That first time you got that, like, you really appreciate my work.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I know there's someone out there that's appreciating it. There's a reason I need to keep creating it.
Okay. Switching it up a little bit. Could you give me your definition of mental health and what that means to you?
Funny you mention that. On campus at Salisbury, I actually started a self-care, self-love, self-development club. It's called Vanity Modeling and Self-Development Club.
Tell me about that.
It's su.vanity on Instagram. But in the fall, we focus more so on this self-love and self-development part where we do like face mask nights, just things to really like, after a test, you could just come and debrief, like come in, relax, and get to talk to people that you wouldn't normally get the chance to, make new friends.
Good.
Self-care that you don't have the time to do in your dorm, but now that you're with friends, you can bring your friends to the meeting. We'll just have nights where we'll talk about like things that we find in healthy and unhealthy relationships. So just, as you can see, I cannot stay still. I got on campus and I had to start a club. Like that's,
right. That's dope though. That's dope.
I found like it was definitely a need for it, especially in the Black community with the mental health stigmas going around. Personally, I felt like I needed it with my own mental health journey. I felt like there was definitely people around the campus that needed it with just the climate. I didn't walk onto the campus at a bad time, but there were a lot of like
the energy was heavy.
questionable race-related like activities that happened on campus after my years of getting there. So it's something that there needs to be a safe space for. So
for sure.
As far as mental health in general, I think it's a huge issue that we haven't really spent much work attacking.
For sure,
Yeah.
and it's definitely, especially in our community, the Black community, it's something that I always tell people it's not shunned, but it's just something that's kind of brushed to the side,
especially with
laughed off.
most. Not I don't want to say most, but especially with a lot of Black families, it's just like we blame it on something else, but there could like seriously be something mentally like going on, and we don't want to discuss it as like.
Definitely now, I think with our generation, because we had that the sharing of information, social media, so everybody's like, you know, sharing information, learning new things. I think our parents' generation, they're kind of maybe learning that they might have done some things that they, you know, but they didn't know.
I feel like there's been some negative like aspects of social media being involved, but also I feel like the positive aspect is that like now you realize that it's not just you going through it. Like it's not just a you problem. It's a community problem. It's within the Black community. It's within the white community. Within every other community. It's a problem that everyone's dealing with. It's not just you.
That's right. And I thank you for sharing that with us. And that's great that you opened up that club. That's awesome because I think you bringing that to a campus, even if you only save or help one person, that's that one person that's been saved. And I'm pretty sure you've impacted somebody positively.
I've definitely heard feedback as far as lives that has changed. And I started with another girl, Kajona Lewis, who was also like experiencing things like that.
But it made it better, right?
Yep.
It made the situation better. That's good. I saw that you were, it was funny because you had wore like, it was like an outfit that you never would think someone would wear to a gun range, but you wore it to a gun range.
No, that was a whole accident. Like the day that we were supposed to go, which was the day before, I had on a Milano t-shirt and some black cargo pants. I literally brought that outfit for that purpose, just to go to the gun range. We get to the gun range and they're like, yeah, it's New Year's Day, so we're closing early. Like they didn't have nothing about that on their website. So now that we went the next day, that was the only other outfit I had that wasn't like a club outfit. So I was like, I guess I'm just.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
And I had heels on. Like,
well, at least you don't mind shooting a gun.
It was actually scary at first, like to know that you got the power to end someone's life in your hands. But I'm glad. I feel like everyone should at least learn how to use a gun.
For sure, especially in the light of things that's happened with the guy that tragically, he died in Minneapolis, and I think it's something, especially in our community, again, that everybody should at least learn what to do. I'm not saying you have to go out there and own one.
But if the time
like
presents itself and you need to use it, at least
you should know
how.
what to do.
Yeah,
you should know what to do, because I definitely think it's something that people at this point should at least consider, go at least know how to handle one. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
What would you say are your goals for the next 2 or 3 years, just as an entrepreneur, as a person?
As a person, just growth and happiness. With whatever I decide to do, whether like I switch up my business, whether I expand my business, I just want to be happy with it. Definitely, I want to, and as far as my business, I want to be able to hire employees, because as of right now, I'm my only working employee. So I'm sewing, I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing the financials, accounting. It's becoming a lot, and especially like during school, it was really a lot in addition to my 5 classes. So right now I have all the time in the world, which is why I'm able to do things like release new products. But I definitely want to be able to hire at least another seamstress and a financial advisor, something like that.
Well, y'all hear her. She's trying to get, if you guys know how to do
Looking
something,
out.
hit her up.
Yes.
She's trying to hire some people. Well, one thing about coronavirus that I think has been a good thing, despite all the bad things that have been happening, it's forced a lot of artists and creatives to put out content in different ways.
Definitely.
And we got a lot of good music this year. Could you talk to us, just tell us your favorite music that you've heard this year?
This was pre-coronavirus, but Summer Walker's album, there's some.
Oh, so you're a Summer Walker fan?
I'm definitely an R&B. I mean, I'm a hip hop, trap, all that type of fan too, but I like R&B's where my heart is. So Summer Walker, she got some crack in that last album, and then Janae Aiko, that's my favorite artist. So.
And Janae Aiko?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, she.
That whole album.
I would definitely, her and Kalani. I'm not gonna say that they're toxic, but they definitely.
I think everybody got a little toxic traits.
I definitely can see
razzle-dazzle.
I understand why Big Sean be going like he's lost in the sauce.
I
can
feel
definitely
like
see how.
He probably put her through just as much.
I don't know. I think it's definitely more her. I don't know. Big Sean, because Big Sean was talking like he was going through this period. He was cool. He was just out there being Big Sean, and then she just came and he was immediately back in the fold. I was like, She,
He hasn't released music in a while, so I don't know. I mean,
exactly, because of her, because of Gene. Ever since she done came in, Big Sean ain't dropped just about nothing. Like, he ain't really dropped an album or anything. It's been all about her in that barbershop. But, okay, so Jane Aiko and Summer Walker. How do you feel about Summer Walker's new look? Did you see it?
I feel like her look definitely doesn't match her music, but I think that's perfectly fine. I feel like that's what makes her different as an artist. Like, there's a lot of R&B artists, a lot of women to compete with, definitely a lot of women to live up to, and I feel like she, like, enter her own category of this tatted black woman with rainbow color hair that, like, just don't really care. I feel like that's her own lane as an R&B artist, and I feel like it's probably helped her music sales, and it's probably helped people to find her as a new artist that they'd be interested in.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, she definitely has her own look. But I was talking about more so she definitely got she had got I think she got her face done.
Oh, yeah.
I think she got her face done, in her nose and all that stuff. And I was just asking you just because I know you're, as a woman, just is that something that you're you think that's
I don't personally, I don't find a problem with it. It don't bother me with her music.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. It doesn't bother me at all. I think it looks. I won't say I don't think she. I'll say I don't think she needed it, but at the same time,
I don't think she needed it, but I think her music still sounds the same. So that's
happy.
all I'm concerned about.
When it comes to fashion and just working with your clutch and you do your modeling on the side, is there anybody that's in the industry that you dream of working with, like a dream collab?
Rihanna.
Oh yeah, Rihanna.
Yeah,
Rihanna. Okay.
Aside from that, there aren't really any high-end brands that I would want to work with besides
local. It could be local. Anybody. Just a dream collab. Other than Rihanna, of course.
I really have not looked into local fashion designers, so I feel like that's my new mental assignment, because if I did ever want to collab or did want to reach out for advice, I really couldn't. There's not one person I could call on that I could think of.
There's I just interviewed him on Collage.
I did watch that interview.
His stuff is pretty dope.
I should reach out.
You should. I can definitely give you the info.
The networking.
He's pretty dope. He's pretty dope. Just wrapping things up. I know that we talked about the gratification and how you influence people, and I know there's probably people that you influence that you don't know. But especially just to our youth, if you could give them a message just about following your dreams and following your passions, what would that be?
I would just say a goal without a plan is just a dream. That's literally a quote that I have saved myself, because until you sit down and create a plan of how you're going to get to this goal, it will forever stay a dream, or forever stay an idea in your head. And if you're going to be afraid of failure and afraid of not making it, afraid of losing money from investments, it'll forever you'll forever be working at 9 to 5 if that's what you're opposed to, or you'll forever be stuck in the same place until you're willing to get up and take the first steps into starting a business.